Hey there, hi there, oh there, fellas. Welcome back to the channel. Here we are once again. As you can see, we're getting ready. We're we're getting ready to throw down some Battlefield 6 again tonight. After I eat my soup, of course. But I wanted to hop in today to go ahead and cover a few different things that we've been seeing over at DC Studios. We did get some pretty big highlights as well as some good information. And depending on if you are a giant messed up person or not, some bad information. But if you're cool like me, good information as well. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So our first thing is going to be that the Clayface movie has wrapped filming, which means that they're going to go back in and tinker out all like the smaller things and nooks and crannies, make all the CGI look good and everything, get ready for their ads and everything. They're going to be coming out soon, and their whole media run that's going to be leading up to the movie. We got a release date, I believe. This was like a few days ago, like 2 days ago. It's going to be releasing on 9/11, which is a crazy day to drop a movie, but it is what it is. We are like 20, at this point, it'll be 25 years exactly after that tragedy. So, choice day for them to do that. But overall, the movie looks amazing. We got a few on-set photos of the lead actor. I forget who it is, but he looks phenomenal as Clayface. In his human form, of course, we haven't been able to see what he's going to look like as their design for his CGI version. But if you are wondering anything about this, you do get your first glimpse at Clayface as a villain in the DCU, in James Gunn's DCU, ironically enough, in another set of films by James Gunn with Creature Commandos. I believe it's like episode 4 or 5 that he shows up in, where he like just absolutely beats the shit out of one of these other characters that I'm not going to say. Just in case you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. And if you have not been keeping up with James Gunn's DCU, as I'm like coming to realize a lot of people aren't, which is totally fine and understandable. A lot of people have superhero fatigue and everything over here, but we don't have that around these parts. All of the actors that play their counterparts in animation are going to be playing their counterparts in live action. So that's going to be really exciting to see how he does this character some justice. A little bit of side note information. We also got the early production information about a Flash video game that's going to be also set in the DCU, which is a first for a video game to be placed in a movie universe. But again, if we go back to like I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, whenever James Gunn announced that he was the head of DC Studios, that he wants to make it where all of the animation, all of the movies, and all of the video games are tied into the same universe, where it's all canon. So we'll see how that goes. I wonder if they're going to do this, the same way, where the video game Flash is going to be the same actor that's going to be the Flash in the main, DC universe whenever they bring around the Justice League and get around to that. Thank God it's not going to be Ezra Miller, because Lord knows that Flash movie, it was a movie. It was not very good. There was a lot of parts in it that were just terrible adaptation of the Flashpoint paradox, and could have been a lot better. Not to mention their lead actor was actually crazy. But we're not here to shame mental illness and everything. They are all right, I suppose. But yeah, so that's going to be a unique take. Hopefully, it's going to be a good video game. It's going to have a good story and everything. And who knows? Maybe we'll get some cameos in there, like David Cornsweet's Superman, or maybe the Supergirl, or hell, maybe even Green Lantern or Mr. Terrific already. But surely that's not going to come out for like 4 or 5 years anyways, especially if they're barely getting into production on it now. Another small little itty-bitty tidbit of information, the lead actor David Cornsweet for Superman and the lead actor for Supergirl both have signed the petition to refuse to work for any movie studio that supports the IDF, which in my book, phenomenal, especially if you go back and watch the DCU Superman, and you just look at the allegory for what it really is in terms of our real world messaging. It just makes a whole bunch of sense that they would do that, because that whole movie is pretty much a real life interpretation and side by side of what our unfortunate society has really been. But yeah, very, very unique. Obviously, there's going to be a bunch of people that are just, not having it with that kind of information and want Superman to stay out of politics as well as Supergirl to stay out of politics. But that's literally the nature of the character. As we talked about, I believe yesterday, no, the day before yesterday with Absolute Batman Annual #1, like, dude, comic books and politics and the real world problems have been a thing since the dawn of fucking time. All right. Just like how Batman's panel where he's breaking that fucking Sig Heil dude arm is going to live on as one of the most iconic panels in DC Comics forever. Just like, Captain America punching the Nazi and all that other stuff. It goes with it, it's like bread and butter, or peanut butter and jelly. It just is what it is. Art imitates life, guys. Get over it. Stop being a fucking child about it. And frankly, if you have a problem with it, beat your feet. All right. Anywho, the last little itty bitty tidbit of information is there are rumors switching over to Marvel that we're going to be getting our first look at Avengers Doomsday next month. Exactly 1 year out from the alleged launch date of the movie. And honestly, if we're being real, we might as well take it with a grain of salt because it's just a rumor. But also, this isn't going to technically be the first look at the movie because we did get that Disneyland laser show thing with Doctor Doom and everything in it that a bunch of people are speculating is part of the like whole marketing campaign for the movie. And honestly, I wouldn't be too mad, but I'm trying to keep my expectations really low because I don't want to be disappointed. I'm very excited for this movie. I really am. But I don't know. I'm a little worried with the way that Marvel's been in the last couple months, honestly, years. But at the same time, with the whole alleged claim that Kevin Feige has been planning this from the jump, I don't know, man. It really feels like they're trying to spin this as a narrative of they've had this plan from day one, or at least since, Infinity War, and now here we are. So we'll get to see it apparently next month, and we'll be able to make our own judgment of it around then. I'm just really hoping for a Doctor Doom focused movie that really gives him time to shine, because if it doesn't, then I think that we're kind of failed here. We didn't have a whole 10-year build up to him. We're having one movie, one small glimpse of seeing him in one other movie as a post-credit scene, which it was absolutely tiny. It was not very long or very good a very good sight of him. And then we're getting, the Secret Wars ending to this whole storyline, or maybe it's the beginning of the storyline. Who knows? But yeah, that's really all of the news that I have for the, the DCUs and the MCUs and the comic book and movie world over here, at least what I care about for right now. Another little, sprinkle on top is that Frankenstein is going to be hitting Netflix later this week. So if you have not seen that and you are sad that the most important holiday is over. Oh, wrong hand again. There we go. That one, Halloween. Then you'll be able to live on for another week, and hopefully throughout the end of the year. But anywho, that's just one dude's opinion on this whole thing. Drop some comments down below. I like to reply to you guys down there as much as possible. Hope to see you down there and sharing your thoughts on everything. Do you think Doomsday is going to be good? Do you think Clayface looks good? What do you think about the upcoming Superman and Supergirl movies now that they're all announced and on their way in? And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Drop a like, drop a comment, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, peace.